This is the first podcast of John and I discussing gaming that we have no name for yet. My name, of course, is Scott.
And this is John.
Yep. Hello there, John. How are you this evening?
I'm doing all right, buddy. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Can't complain at all. So we're going to be just talking about different things. We're going to start off with what we've been playing and just give a little bit of, what's in our queue, what we're looking forward to, if anything. And then we'll talk about some news that we've stumbled upon in the past week or so. So I'll go ahead and kick things off. And John will be able to chime in as well in this. Of course, what we both have been playing for probably about the past 2 weeks now, actually about a month almost, is, of course, Borderlands 2, a game that we've been looking forward to ever since they announced it, pretty much. We have nothing but great things to say about this game. There is no disappointments on our end. It's, I think, personally, 10 times funnier than the first one. There is a lot more comedy, a lot more dark humor. We have yet to beat the game because we are, in fact, loot whores and spend our time just scavenging the earth, or Pandora, in a way.
Well, we're loot whores when your brother's not deciding to just kind of stick around in one spot.
He's a rusher.
Just rush through.
He is definitely a rusher. So it's fun to watch him just run off and think that he can take on these enemies, because that's what one good thing is about this game is the more people that join, the harder the characters are, the AI is. So it's always fun to watch his ass get handed to him as he thinks that he can own them all.
And we have to continually go running up there, revive him. Hey, come back.
Of course.
You're going to die.
We got some cash over here, brother. Sorry. So that's what I've been playing, as well as trying to get my son a little bit more interested into gaming, and he has become pretty obsessed with Super Mario Brothers. So I've actually been playing some of the new Super Mario Brothers on the Wii, and of course once I start playing that, I'm not allowed to play anything else.
Hey, just remember, that's your choice.
That is my choice. Yes.
My son's not there yet. He'll be there eventually.
He will be. He's got a couple years left, but it'll be all right. Once it starts, it will never end. So I hate to say that, but be prepared.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Also, pretty much what I have done with PlayStation 3, I've gotten back into that a little bit. I've actually purchased a 3-month subscription to PS Plus. I've read a lot of articles lately on it, and the stuff that they offered for free was really impressive. I was able to download. Now, I purchased it. It was $17.99. That's for a 3-month pass. Now, you could do the full year if you want to for $49.99. But I went ahead and just did 3 just because I wanted to see how much I would actually play. After I got the membership, I was immediately, brought into the PS Plus membership area where I was able to download a bunch of games for absolutely no cost. And
does that look any different than the normal PlayStation home screen?
No, it's just a section that they have built just around PS Plus. It's just aligned with you. It's a lot easier for you to get to your exclusive access as opposed to, having to browse through all the different options and everything. You get right into the discounts and free stuff that you get, which I was able to download for free. Warhammer Space Marine 40K, which is a $40 game. Little Big Planet 2, which is a $30 game. I do own Infamous 2, but Infamous 2, which is a $40 game, is for free. Ratchet & Clank All for One, which is they say $60 game on PS3, but I've seen it for about $20. And then a couple arcade titles, Pac-Man DX Championship Edition, which is $10, and another game called Super Highway, which is $10. And then also today, they actually took away Borderlands. Borderlands was actually free on the PS Plus, and they took that out, and they put NFL Blitz.
The original one?
Yes.
Wow.
The full game. No DLC, though, but still, you're getting a $20. I mean, all the games that I downloaded, I did a calculation, and I was able to get $100 worth of games for no cost. Well, okay, $17.99. But
just round it up to 18.
There
Jesus.
you go, $18. But
now, are you still able to play those after you get done? Like, let's say that you decide to cancel your membership after
Of c-
X amount of time, do you still get access to those games? Do you
That
actually
of course
own them?
goes away. No, well, I would say you own it for as long as you own the membership. The membership is linked to the activation keys that you download.
So you're renting it.
Yes. Pretty much rent. It's kind of like GameFly. I'll admit it's pretty much kind of like GameFly. Or
I thought we were trying to get away from that.
yeah, but for you being able to own the game, and if I'm only spending $18 for 3 months as opposed to $20 a month for GameFly, the only difference.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean the only difference is I'm not getting brand new releases. I'm getting older games, but games that I haven't played but I've heard good things about. I mean, I'll give it a shot and see what happens. It's not going to be a reoccurring bill. It's just one-time deal. So I'm just interested to see because they offer some pretty good discounts and also discounts on games if you want to buy. Like they just released Jet Set Radio, and I was able, if I wanted to, pick that up for $6 as opposed to $10. So I mean, in a way, and I mean, I can go into my whole why I think 360 is ridiculous because of the $50 that you have to pay to play online.
Hey, let's hear it.
Well, with PlayStation 3, you of course have no subscription that is needed to play online. You have an internet connection that you pay for, you get to play online, no cost, just like on a PC. You pay for your internet, so you should be able to use your internet. Microsoft should not limit you to do that, but they do.
Oh,
So
come on. You know they own a monopoly on everything.
Of course, and then they have to add your screen up beyond belief and, throw out all these advertisements. But anyways, it's just neat to see that PlayStation 3, yes, of course you could argue the fact that the online is not as stable sometimes as the Xbox 360, but there's been times where I've been disconnected from the 360 as well as from the PS3 as well as from the PC. But it's kind of neat to see that PlayStation 3 is going, okay, we'll give you a membership option. You don't have to buy it to play online, but we're going to give you free shit. We're going to let you play the X amount of games. I've never seen once. Now, Microsoft did announce this past week that they were going to, for people that have racked up enough achievements, which you and I qualify for because we have over 20,000, that we would get 2% off anything in the marketplace, sir.
Ooh, 2%, huh?
Yes.
Such a high dollar value.
Yeah, it's a free 2%. I know. Take what you can get. Don't bitch. But still, it's like, why you should be offering something like what PlayStation is offering, free games, not 20% off, 10% off, 2% off. You should be able to offer games like games that are on the 360 only, like Fable the Journey or whatever that came out for Kinect. They should allow you to own that for free after a certain amount of time of it being out if you're a gold member for X amount of years or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's...
How long did you have a continuous membership there?
I don't even want to go in. It was, I think, 6 years. So if you do the math, 6 years times $50 is... I spent $300 just to play online.
Mm-hmm. That's on top of your internet costs.
Of course, which, yeah, you don't even need to get into that. That's
Nah.
crazy amounts. You could own a PC and a PS3 and a 360 and a Nintendo Wii with the amount of money that you spend just to play online for one console.
Yes,
what's
yes,
crazy.
you could.
So, I know I got on a rant there, but that's pretty much what I've played in probably about the past week or two. I mean, well, month for Borderlands 2, but probably about the past week. And I will turn it over to you, sir. What have you been playing other than Borderlands 2, if anything?
Borderlands 2.
All right.
I've just, when I'm waiting on you to get online, I'm usually just playing solo play. Working on my Siren class, it's a good class. I enjoy it. I like the ability to grab onto an enemy, lift them up into the air, suspend them, blast my weapons into them, be it sniper, submachine gun, whatever the case might be, and then allow those health orbs to come back and recharge me.
Now talk about single player for a little bit, because I want to know how different it is than playing online with somebody else. What's the kill-death ratio? Are you dying a lot more in single player? Do you find yourself, or are you not?
Nah, it's not really more dying. You just got to be more cautious. It's a little bit more time-consuming since you don't have the other three of us that are out there running around killing people off. But since I'm used to running with my my commando as my primary character on the multiplayer that we have. Obviously, I don't have the ability to just throw my turret out and protect myself. I've got to hide around corners. I've got to shoot from distance. I've got to be more cautious and be more tactical in the way that I play in single player mode. But I would say that the biggest thing that's probably the most difficult when you're playing single player is the when you save and when you don't save. And if you're in the middle of a mission or a campaign and you happen to need to step away from that mission, sure, you'll save your game, you'll save your character and where you're at, but you've got to restart that entire mission over again. And I'm not really a huge fan of that aspect, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't recall offhand how the original Borderlands had it set up, but I don't think that we had nearly that issue, and I don't think the missions took quite as long as they do here in the second version.
Yeah, I'll admit that I think that the missions were a lot. That is one thing that I guess if there was a con that I had with Borderlands 2 as opposed to Borderlands 1 was if you start a mission and you get to checkpoints throughout that, playtime, and all of a sudden your game crashes or you just have to go away for whatever reason, be it emergency or it's too late at night or whatever, you can't save. And that's what really kind of pissed me off in a way was how long these missions are. You literally have to give yourself at least, which of course it can be a pro in itself. It adds to the gameplay, it adds to the length of time that you're going to be spending in this game, but they should have added a feature to be able to save a checkpoint and to be able to go back to that checkpoint for people that can't game for multiple hours on end.
Exactly. The 2 or 3 hours that we normally have per night to actually get in and play versus a single kid who's got 20, 30 hours to play whenever he wants and doesn't have to worry about going to class or going to work or
exactly
surviving out on his own.
And I get the point. They what's the whole point of games nowadays? Suck you in, make you sit there for God knows how long, and then you get up and you're like, holy shit, I was playing for that amount of time. I didn't feel like it. Just like with any good movie, you don't feel like you're sitting there for that long because it just grabbed you and held you there for that amount of time. But to me, I guess games have taken a different aspect in my life as it's a way to get away from, life in general and be able to, just have that peace and serenity of blowing shit up or doing whatever, but I could stop whenever I want to and I could get back into right where I left off. Now,
well, see, just think of it like like an interactive book.
Sure, and people can say on here and be like, well, you could just leave it running. Well, yeah, I guess I could, but then you always have the problem of it could lock your computer up or it could lock the PS3 up or whatever console you're playing on. It could end up frying your system. It could, anything could happen. I just personally don't like to leave a game running. I know that you've done that in the past with...
I did that once by accident.
Yeah, what game was that? Do you remember?
Let me go in and take a look at my Steam real quick. It was
some game.
Kane and Lynch 2. It was
That's
Dog
right.
Days. And I left that on for 72 hours straight. Yeah, that was kind of an accident.
And then I
right
looked
there.
at that and said, holy shit, you actually liked the game. And he said, oh, no, I didn't play it. Forgot all about that.
But when we started playing this game initially, it's a good game. I liked it a lot.
We did.
We just
It
got
was
involved
very...
with other games really quick.
Yeah, Kane and Lynch 2 was just very short. And it was funny, one of our friends... Ian actually was playing it, and he was very disappointed in the end, and I totally forgot how the game ended until I watched a YouTube clip, and I was like, oh yeah, they just kind of just said, okay, fuck it, you're getting on a plane, you're done. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, that's it? What the fuck? What happened to all the guys chasing him? I mean, shit, get on a plane, then you're safe? Alright, good deal, end the
Well, of
game.
course not.
Alright.
Don't you know how that's how every hero
Production
walks
has
away?
run out. Yes, exactly.
It's all about money nowadays. And see, that's what I like about Borderlands. Borderlands and Borderlands 2 had fantastic stories. And they're here. Gearbox Studios is here in Dallas. It makes it that much better because then we know that the economy is good out here. We know that the game development is good out here. And we know that we're going to have great games being developed by these companies.
We're supporting local business as well as helping the economy.
Huzzah.
Yeah, we actually, my brother Sean and I, we went to the Gearbox Community Day just the weekend before it came out, that Tuesday, the 18th or whatever date it was. And it was really neat to see the community come out and support I mean, what used to be a small game developer company. And yeah, their hit that they made it big with was Borderlands 1 that came out a few years ago in 2009. And I didn't even know that Gearbox had existed. And yeah, call gamer shame on me, but that's one thing I never really did in the past was I never researched the game companies that were behind some of the games that I played. Now I know Naughty Dog did Uncharted, but I never knew that Naughty Dog did Sly Cooper. Not Sly Cooper. Shit. What did Naughty Dog do? Damn it! Now I can't even remember. But
Drawing a blank.
I could know. Well, this one off the top of my head is Infamous. Infamous and Infamous 2 were done by Insomniac, who also did not only Ratchet and Clank, but they also did the Resistance series. So it's really neat to see what game developers have been able to, transition from such a kid-friendly game as Ratchet and Clank to a much more mature title as Infamous. But with Gearbox, I don't even know what they were doing before then, but to be able to meet the CEO and just see him walking around with the community and crowd and all these fans that have just appreciated, what they've been able to do for games nowadays. And just the guns alone in Borderlands 2 have set a new standard for what I want to see in an FPS. I mean, you even were the first one to get this weapon, but the coolest moment so far, I think, in Borderlands 2 for me would have to be the ability on the TDOR weapon is to be able to reload, and when you reload, you throw your weapon, your gun, and it explodes, and then it regenerates in your hand.
Yep.
I
love that.
I never would have thought of that ability. I mean,
well, I've got that. That orange rare hippity hop rocket launcher. That thing does
that's right. I
hell
saw
of a
the
lot of
rockets
damage.
bounce, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? A grenade?"
Yeah. Now, see, I've had two Teodors like that. One was that orange. One was maybe a purple. But the purple one, that one, it actually threw itself and threw in a forward direction. It didn't bounce, so it wasn't just ground based. So if you could aim it at a particular target, maybe say something that was up in the air or whatnot, you could knock it out of the air and hit things at distance, rather than just with the hippity hop one that I've got now. It just kind of bounces along until it hits a target or just bounces off of a clipped wall or something.
Yeah, see, and in Borderlands 1, I know we're going on a Borderlands rant, but I mean, this is pretty much the game that we've been playing. But in Borderlands 1, I think the most noticeable change that I found in that game as opposed to any other FPS that I played was the different grenades.
Oh, God, yes.
They had so many different kinds, from the corrosive grenades that would just explode and just pretty much soak them in poison, to the bouncing Bettys where they would just pop up out of the ground and just pretty much obliterate everything. And then
Look at the
longbow. The longbow was
Yeah.
the most impressive. I was like, holy shit, I can actually shoot my grenade and hit somebody with it.
Well, you know the one I prefer, though, right?
Which one's that?
That's the singularity grenades.
Right. Talk a little bit about that, because I was kind of blown away about how that works. I was like, holy shit, there's something grabbing and pulling these suckers in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's nothing more than just having a grenade that basically creates its own wormhole. You've got an X radius that it decides to pull targets in, and does some basic damage there when it first sucks them in, and then a couple seconds later it explodes, depending on what its fuse length is and fuse settings are. But once you've got that weapon, it works really well if you've got a group of enemies. Let's say if you're running through through that horde section that we were doing. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but where we were fighting on the pedestals.
Yeah, it was different
The
ways.
kill
I
house.
forgot.
Yeah,
the
that kill
slaughterhouse
house thing.
Yep.
We were just able to toss it down, pick up those little shotgun midgets, and it would suck them in and then blow them up. I thought it was fantastic.
It makes it very worth it, because just like with the siren being able to grab and hold an enemy in the air, it actually grabs all the enemies. So while they're taking damage from being sucked in, you can still add to that damage with firing your own shots from your teammates. I just did a little bit of research, but anyways, I mean, yeah, Borderlands 2, of course we love it, we like it, and you can't go wrong with it if you just want to laugh. I mean, even the most generic FPS gamer would just be able to pop it in and enjoy it and just go for the ride. I mean, you'll level up no matter what. There's even missions that don't even require you to shoot anything. It just makes you go pick up shit and deliver it. It's, you're a delivery man, which, can suck, but it just, you do it just for the story, just for the shits and giggles that you get out of it. I mean, Scooter is fucking hilarious in this one. He was in the first one, but he just adds a new level of raunchy humor.
The one gun that we really need to get our hands on is the Bane weapon.
Yeah, and
That one
that's
that
what I
yells
found
and
out about
screams
this from
at ya.
Rooster Teeth. Yeah, so what John had just talked about was the Bane weapon, which will kill anything in one hit. The only
No, not this, not the Bane weapon.
Oh.
It's not like that shout weapon that you were thinking of earlier. The Bane weapon is an annoying gun.
So what is this?
The Bane will, it basically screams at you like the midgets do. So every time that you fire it, it goes, and stuff
Are
like
you
that.
kidding?
Oh, no, it screams. It's absolutely annoying, but it's the funniest gun that I've seen so far.
Yeah,
And
we
when
gotta
you're-
find that.
When you reload, I think it's a mission. I think it's a side quest mission weapon. I've seen a couple of videos up on YouTube that have it out there, but when you change weapon, it'll scream out, "Changing weapons!"
Oh my god, yeah, we
Oh
gotta
god,
find
it's
that.
hilarious. And it comes in different styles. I think I've seen a couple that will shoot corrosive damage, a couple that will shoot electric damage. I've seen one that does slag, so there's all
Nice.
sorts of different options out there. But it's just whatever you happen to pick up out of that particular draw for that quest.
Awesome. Well, I just did a little bit of research. Gearbox, actually, and I never played this, but Gearbox was a part of the game series they actually launched their own company, and their first title game that came out was Brothers in Arms, which I heard was a very mature World War II style shooter that actually pretty much talked about brothers, this group of soldiers during the World War II era, kind of like the Pacific or Band of Brothers that was on HBO for World War II, that did those real life documentaries behind these guys that had to stay around each other and pretty much live in the shittiest of conditions while trying to survive from being shot at as well by Nazis. They did that, and then they also did a sequel, Road to Hill 30, and then Earned in Blood. And then, yeah, so they did that Brothers in Arms before they got into the Borderlands. And actually right now, which I actually got to see a preview and play a little bit of, that they're coming out in February next year, is Aliens Colonial Marines, which it's interesting. I've never really been a huge Aliens fan. I've seen the first one, Alien, but I've never seen any of the sequels. I never really got into it. I thought it was okay for, of course, being a horror movie that it was, but a lot of sci-fi freaks are actually really into it just for the whole concept of this, race of aliens and how they reproduce and everything. But the gameplay style is pretty much your standard FPS. It does have its scare tactics of aliens coming out of nowhere scaring the shit out of you. So
Don't all games have that though? Look at Dead Space.
yeah, true.
Dead Space was one that would that would shock anybody.
Yeah, but I never played too much into that. You only played the second one, though, correct? You never did play through the first one?
I think I started it up, but that was about the extent of it.
Okay. John, you'll actually like that Gearbox also worked on Counter-Strike. The
There
first
we go.
one. They actually assisted in the creation of that. And then Naughty Dog, behind Uncharted, they actually were behind Jak and Daxter and Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation 2 and 1. So it's just pretty cool to do your little research. If you respect a developer, you're more than likely going to like their previous games if you don't know who they really are. So, that's my little 2 cents about that. It's like I've always wanted to start getting back, like even with id, we go to QuakeCon now. John and I have been going for the past, well, for me, 4 years. I think for you it's been, 5 or 6?
Nah, close to 6, yeah.
Yeah, and it really is just a gathering of a bunch of PC gamers that just like to either show off their rigs or just go to game, and they have conferences from different developers that like to show off what they're going to be releasing. Nothing really was shown this year when we went. They really talked about trying to press on for Doom 4 and try to get that released. They said that's all they're working on right now. They've stopped mobile gaming development. They've stopped everything else.
Well,
They're,
they had Dishonored, and they were working on that.
yeah, and that's being done by Bethesda, who now is partnered with id. We played a little bit of Dishonored. It was okay. The only problem that I have with playing a game on the fly is you don't really have anybody trying to give you a demo of what button does what. So you're kind of learning as you go, which I don't mind, but when I'm trying to get a feel for a game, it sucks when you die within the first about 30 seconds of the game. That might be because I suck. I don't care. But the whole point of a demo is to be able to grab your attention and also let you be able to play around with the abilities that you're going to be able to do, which we had some abilities. Being able to, it's your standard. You're able to freeze time. You can, one thing that John did that was pretty damn funny was he was able to summon rats to come and eat the guards, and that was kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, that was random.
It looks like a random game. It looks interesting. I mean, it's not something on my top chart of wanting to play right now. And then we also played a little bit of the re-releasing Doom 3, called the BFG edition, that they're adding new missions, which I'm kind of pissed off about because I hope they release the new levels as just DLC, because John and I both already own Doom 3, and it would suck to have to buy a completely new version when all we're getting is like 2 levels.
If I'm right, this is a BFG edition, so...
What is?
This new Doom that's coming out, it should
Yeah.
be a BFG edition.
But that's what I'm saying. Why do we
mean-
have to pay $30 or $40 for it when we've already bought the game? Can't we just get whatever the added DLC is for like $5 or $10 or whatever?
No.
Of course not.
Companies have to make their money. Come on.
Yeah, and
We all know how
it
this
is
works.
suffering from rage.
Hey, Rage was a good game.
Yeah, but it's funny when you see a game that starts out at $60 and then literally within 3 months drops to 20.
I'll give you that much.
It did not sell well at all.
No, I'm hoping it picked up a lot more followers though when it went on sale.
I think so.
But of course, we can't really say much because we do the same thing.
Sure.
And the summer Steam sale, we always look forward to that.
Of course.
We always
Yeah.
pick up games whenever we're out at QuakeCon, and they happen to have a big sale. So
Absolutely.
most of the games that I've purchased have always been for less than retail costs, and I've got 138 that I own. So, and of course, there's sequels in there, and there's map packs and different versions. But
So did
Yeah,
you
it's
want to
the way it
go
works.
through this game that you're playing on your mobile device, or do you want me to go into...
oh, what you mean, Bad Piggies?
Yes. John literally told me this right before we decided to record this tonight, and did not know, first of all, that it was already out on the store, and second of all...
Well, you need to see if there's any cost to it on your side, because on the Android platform,
I have
there's
my
no
phone
cost.
still. Shut your pie hole.
But I don't know where it sits on the iOS side. But yeah, Bad
Talk
Piggies.
about it. What is it?
It's basically it's all based off Angry Birds. It's the pigs from Angry Birds, and what you get to do is you get to play as them, and you're trying to get map pieces. At least here in this first series of quests that I'm doing, you're trying to get map pieces by building contraptions to get you to the end of the level. You start off with real basic things. You start off on a hill with 2 boxes and 2 wheels and the pig, so you got to build it in the grid, and then you basically roll down the hill and you collect the map piece. But it gets more complicated as it goes. Now I think I'm using motors and propellers and automated umbrellas and all sorts of little things. But
So what's the premise? Why are you collecting map pieces? What's the pigs trying to accomplish?
you're trying to get the eggs.
So the map's to where the eggs are?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's interesting. So going from a slingshot type game to...
A construction game.
That's interesting.
Yeah. They did a really good job with it, though. I've been kind of hooked in playing it along that and Song Pop. I'm not gonna lie about that one, but
You're welcome.
yeah, thanks. No, Bad Piggies. It's a different take on playing games. There was another game that I had picked up, I think, through the Amazon store called Aperture, which was kind of a construction-based game. But I like those puzzle games where you got to think about what you're building and what you're doing before you actually do it. So being able to play Bad Piggies it's a lot of fun for me. And of course, when I've got the opportunity and when I'm able to actually listen to my headset and not hear a screaming child, then I can actually play Song Pop, which really shocked me when I was playing the Today's Hits list, I think, and I heard Skrillex in there. I damn near shit my pants when I heard that.
Absolutely.
I was like, wait a second, where did Skrillex come from? Why would they put that in this game?
That's what I like about Song Pop is the selections of music, and it's really neat to be able to hear not only the quality but the selections that are chosen at random. And it's funny that you got Skrillex because I actually got that last night, and I almost wanted to know if you were going to be getting that soon enough because that's pretty much in your playlist always.
Well, I'm a big fan of dubstep, but no, Skrillex I had picked up maybe 2-3 days ago, and I heard it randomly in one of the games that I was playing against somebody, and it shocked me.
Nice.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that, but first second that I heard the beat, I was like, I know that one. Click.
Speaking of dubstep, I forgot to tell you in Borderlands 2 again that if
Isn't
you do
everything centered around Borderlands 2 right now?
if you do the Konami code at the title screen,
No.
you can have a more wub mode. Now, the more wub mode is nothing to brag about, though. It's just a selection that you can select, but there's no difference. The developing team just said it's really just an Easter egg. It's just to let you,
Hey,
you know,
I'll take
put in
the
a
Easter
code
eggs.
and just see the new option for the game mode to pop up. But the game mode is no different than the regular game that you play. But
Well, does it change the soundtrack at all?
no, it does
Oh.
not change anything. It's just a way to show
Just
its
for fun.
appreciation to the infamous Konami code.
The one that shows up in everything?
Exactly. Well,
I-
that's the one thing about Borderlands 2 that I've actually been very appreciative of is the amount of Easter eggs that are in this game.
Well, look at the big one. You
But
got
yet that
you got
we have yet
Minecraft.
to find.
Yeah, you've got the Minecraft and the Minecraft skins that you can get your hands on.
Exactly.
We haven't gotten to that stage yet. We haven't
Yeah,
delved in
Minecraft,
deep
you
enough.
actually have a Dark Souls or Demon Souls or whatever it is.
I think it's Dark Souls.
Yeah, they have a Easter egg for that as well. And then the one that you brought to my attention was the one about a big fan of Gearbox that had cancer and actually, unfortunately, lost his life due to that cancer. And so they did a tribute to him, and they actually put his character and his actual name in the game. And supposedly he gives you like the crazy ass loot if you're able to find him. And he randomly appears as in different locations. There's been no way to actually determine.
Well, he shows up in Sanctuary. That's his
right. That's the
location.
problem.
It's
But
just a matter of when.
Exactly. Yep. You got to pretty much go in nook and cranny trying to find him. So. That's
Which
cool.
we haven't yet.
Nope,
It's kind of
not
driving
yet.
me nuts because I want some of those rare and super items.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Well, I'll check out Bad Piggies. The one thing that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll end this tonight, is one game that I'm actually kind of interested in because I'm a huge. I love the Smash Brothers type game where it's pretty much a free-for-all battle. Your brother John pretty much rapes us every time we play Smash Brothers, though. And PlayStation's actually doing their own that comes out in November, I believe, or late October. I don't remember. But it's called PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Pretty much over the past few months, they've been hinting at and releasing their roster characters, and they have just announced recently that they're releasing the game with 20 characters. They're not doing any more at this time, which pretty much confirms that there'll be DLC that you have to pay extra for. But if you're smart and you can wait, like I'm going to try every ounce of energy to position myself in a
You won't
way.
be able to wait. Don't lie.
They'll most likely release like a Game of the Year edition or whatever with all the DLC once they finally figure out how many characters they're going to release on here. I'm kind of disappointed in the 20. I think 20 is a good number, but with the names that they've thrown out there, I'm kind of half and half on here. A lot of these names are good, but really they kind of missed the. And I'll go over which ones I wish they would have seen. But number one that they released, the first one that they announced was Sly Cooper, and they also announced this was all done at E3. They did Sly Cooper from, of course, the Sly Cooper series, Sweet Tooth, Kratos, and then they also did Fat Princess. And Fat Princess is good. I mean, it's unique, it's different. You know, it's just this fat woman in a princess outfit running around with cake.
Did you ever play that one when it first came out?
Fat Princess, heck yeah.
I
Top
love
down.
that game.
Yep, it was good. It was a good indie game. Really, all it is just you trying to capture the princess from the other side and bring her to your base without dying.
It's capture the flag with gnomes.
Exactly, and the ways that you can keep your princess from not moving is you feed her cake and make her fat. So
Fatten that bitch up.
it was interesting and it was unique to say the least. So those were the 4 that were released at E3, and I like Sly Cooper. He's more stealthy. I've seen his gameplay. He reminds me a lot of Fox from Smash Brothers with the ninjutsu type moves with the kicks and everything like that, and his hook. Sweet Tooth is more of your Bowser type character where he's slow, but he's got powerful weapons. He's got a shotgun. He's got his sword, or his whatever you want to call it, blade. And then one thing that they have in PlayStation All Stars is they have level abilities, where you have a level 1, level 2, and a level 3 ability. Pretty much your level 3 ability is going to pretty much own everybody on the screen. And Sweet Tooth's ability on the level 3 is he can morph into his mech that was in the new Twisted Metal that came out earlier this year, and pretty much just shoot the shit out of everybody.
That would be pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen all the stage 3s for everybody else. I'm trying to not watch so much so I can kind of be impressed when I finally pick this up. Yeah, we'll see how long
that win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So later on, they actually announced. Now, John, this is right up your alley. They announced Big Daddy is going to be a character in the game, so you can play as Big Daddy.
Really?
From BioShock. Yep.
I'm liking it.
And they announced Colonel Raddick, who is from the Killzone series, and he is pretty much your main villain. And he's cool. He's got a sniper rifle and grenades and stuff like that. And then this is where I kind of got upset, where they actually took one character, in my opinion, and pretty much made him into 2. Now, I've heard arguments on both sides that they are 2 totally different characters, and yet some people have been saying, no, they're the same, it's just different powers. For anybody that's played Infamous, you play as a guy named Cole McGrath. And Cole, when you play Infamous 1 or Infamous 2, you have 2 different paths that you can go down. Good and evil. As you progress down these paths, you earn different abilities, different powers, a different look. And those are the 2 characters that they announced as well, was Good Cole and Evil Cole. And with Good Cole, you have your freeze abilities from Infamous 2. You have, of course, your shock club that you can use to beat people with. With Evil Cole, you're more fire. So you pretty much got a fire
and whatnot.
Yeah, you got a fire and ice kind of capability with the 2 characters. So you have to determine what you want to use. Until I play that, I'm kind of pissed about that, because they could have sacrificed one of those to add, and I'll go into that later of who I think that they should add. Then they added Dante from Devil May Cry, who I think would be pretty cool to see with the guns and sword gunplay that he has from. I liked him in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so I'm kind of interested to see how he'll be in this. And then they added Hayachi, who is from Tekken. That was the only character, and I never knew his last name until now. It's Mishima. But Hayachi from Tekken was the only character that I ever played, and he was the old dude that whenever you grappled somebody, you would actually put them in a headlock and break their neck. And that's the only thing I know about Tekken, because I love that character.
Because that's not the quickest way to kill somebody.
But you never killed them. They would never die, though. It'd only take half their power or their health or whatever. So to continue, they added Jack and Daxter as one, so you are Jack with Daxter in your back pocket. Kind of cool to see that. And of course, what can a PlayStation All-Stars game be without Nathan Drake, of course, from Uncharted.
Right.
And then they added, now, I have yet to play this game, but I've been told by many PlayStation gamers that I should definitely look at picking this up if I can find a cheap copy, which I have yet to do because they usually range from $30 to $40. But Heavenly Sword was a game that came out around the PlayStation 3 release, and I've been told that the gameplay is a lot God of War style, but different control style. And the cinematics supposedly are mind blowing and just really good story. It's about a woman character this time around. It's not your standard man, and she's pretty brutal with her attacks. And her name is Noriko, and she's also in this. She's a redhead, very nice looking. Yes. And I need to play Heavenly Sword. I'll be honest. I have no clue when it comes to Heavenly Sword of what it's about or what kind of game it is. I know it's action. Then they have Paul Rappa the Rapper from PlayStation 1, which is kind of funny to see this character
little
come
2D
back.
character.
Yes.
God.
And then this is where they kind of got cool, but they didn't get who I wanted. From Metal Gear Solid, they have Raiden. Now, Raiden is not Snake, of course, but Raiden is the fancy boy that is in Metal Gear Solid 2. If you ever played that, that is the level where it's the infamous nude Raiden level where you actually have to cartwheel, and as you cartwheel naked, he actually grabs his junk so you can make sure that there's no censorship. So it's kind of fun to see him do a one-handed cartwheel while he's grabbing his junk. So,
oh God, that's terrible.
Yeah. So to continue, we only got about a few more left. Ratchet and Clank, of course, which is another duo pair, which would be cool to see with Ratchet and his crazy ass weapons of what he's able to do.
Yeah.
And then, of course, from Little Big Planet, you have Sackboy as a playable character fighter.
I could see that one.
Absolutely. And then you have from a game I never played called Medieval, Sir Daniel Fortesque. And then you have two PlayStation characters that I have no knowledge about, Spike and Toro, which are, I believe, from Japan, but I have no idea. So, those are the 20 characters. Now, I wish instead of 2 Coles, they would have gotten rid of one of the Coles, and they had to add, or they should have added, what is PlayStation best known for? What game series, John, if you...
God of War.
Well, they have Kratos. Kratos is
Oh,
in
that's
there.
right. That's right. Yeah, you mentioned
Think
that.
of old, like PlayStation. It was still, the game series started out on the Nintendo, but then it went to PlayStation. What is the most infamous PlayStation game that everybody plays that they say it was the first game they cried in? Do you remember?
Oh, Jesus. Well, since I never had an original PlayStation, I don't
All right.
think I can necessarily give you a straight answer on that.
Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay. I'll grant you
They
that
needed
one.
to add a Final Fantasy character. Of course, everybody's first thought would be put Cloud. Cloud is the most infamous Final Fantasy character on the PlayStation console. He is from Final Fantasy VII, of course, and he is the most recognized in the game industry today. Also, Sephiroth, his arch enemy.
Right.
That would have been another cool character to see. Or even, in my opinion, if they even went to Final Fantasy X, which was my favorite Final Fantasy game, they could have got Titus or Uni or anybody like that. I know I'm talking crazy talk right now with you because you never got too much into the JRPGs, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be in DLC later on, which still pisses me off. But then other people that we're talking about, where the hell are these characters that were infamous amongst the PlayStation? Is where is Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah.
Where is Spyro the Dragon?
Hmm.
I mean, you're talking about developing a title based around the most infamous PlayStation characters of all time, but yet you had to go to third-party games, which I understand.
Think it was a licensing issue?
It possibly could have been. But Naughty Dog owns Crash, like we had just talked about before. If they put Nathan out there, why couldn't the game development company or even Sony just say, hey guys, unless, I guess Naughty Dog could have sold the rights to Crash, who knows?
No telling.
But, I mean, that's where I guess Nintendo succeeded, where I don't know if this game, I think it'll still sell well. I know it will not sell nearly as well as Nintendo, of course, because it is Nintendo. But what Nintendo was able to do was give you only Nintendo characters in their debut game. Yes, I know in Brawl, in the recent one, they added Sonic, and they added Snake from Metal Gear Solid. But they always stuck with the Nintendo franchises. They always stuck with Earthbound. They always stuck with, the Mario and Luigi series, yeah, I mean they went to Pokemon and stuff like that, but that was still Nintendo based. Those were never on any other console except for a Nintendo console. You could play BioShock on 360. You could play Devil May Cry on a 360. You can play Tekken on a 360. If you wanted to kill the competition, or at least try to make something that where no other console could do this, make a console only game with game characters from, I don't know. That's just my rant on that. I'm dragging, I know, but
Hey, it makes sense though.
yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Of course, bitch. But will that get you anywhere? Yeah.
Nah,
But
generally not.
but that's that's pretty much the gist of it. But that's what they talked about. They did say that they are going to, of course, add DLC. We'll just have to see when the time comes of what they do.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this has been our test podcast for this evening. Again, my name is Scott, and that was John talking on the other end.
Yep.
And we're going to try to do this on, I'm going to shoot for a bi-weekly now, but we might be able to shoot a weekly. It just depends on timing, editing, all that fun stuff, because now this is where I get to have my fun of trying to edit this podcast. So, you guys take it easy and keep playing games. Bye.